The latest two, with the overriding guy brought in a couple weeks ago that we discussed, of course, Jim Knowles from Oklahoma State to run the defense as coordinator. Now we have Kerry Combs being shown the exit, as well as Al Washington in place of them. Perry Eliano coming in from Cincinnati, and longtime NFL assistant and familiar name Tim Walton.
Yeah, it was a interesting Thursday, I'll tell you that, with a lot of news comings and goings, and Ohio State even hired two, or will hire. None of these are official, but we might as well call them official. But also hired two more support staffers that worked with Jim Knowles. So a busy Thursday for sure. But yeah, the Buckeyes are remaking this defensive staff in hopes to remake the defense and improve on a unit, as you mentioned, that not entirely, but largely led to two losses this year. And even in some of the wins, they weren't very good. I mean, even the Rose Bowl, look at what they did in the first half defensively. Got it together in the second half for sure, but that's not the type of performance you expect from an Ohio State defense. So we've seen it in the past when defenses have struggled. When Ryan Day came in after the 2018 season, he made changes to the staff when he took over as head coach, trying to get the defense fixed. Jeff Hafley was a big part of that. And so Ohio State fans certainly hope that the addition of the two coaches you mentioned will lead to that type of change. I think Ohio State went that year from being one of the worst defenses in the country in 2018 to statistically the best in 2019. Obviously, a lot of talent on that defense, guys playing in the NFL now, but Ohio State certainly has talent now. It just needs to be developed, needs to be used. The right guys need to be on the field in certain situations. And they hope that Jim Knowles and his new staff will be able to do that.
With Chase Young and Jeffrey Okudah in particular, that
Right.
2019 season peaking as just mega superstars, guys that were drafted in the top 3 picks of the NFL draft, that seemed to be, in a strange sense, an aberration because the talent's been there the entire run. But going back to, I'd say, 2016 and then certainly 2017 seemed to be a downgrade in Ohio State defense. And ever since then, it, excluding that one season, has not come close to the standard.
I agree. And I think you could put some of that blame on Ryan Day. And I like Ryan Day. I think he's a great head coach. I think, as long as he wants to be at Ohio State should have him. And I think that's going to be a while, despite the NFL rumors that have been out there. But he's an offensive guy. There's no doubt about that. And so he has to get these defensive hirings right. If he hires a quarterback's coach, I mean, I bet if you asked a ton of Ohio State fans who the quarterback's coach was, which is Corey Dennis, they probably wouldn't know that off the top of their head. Now, the diehards would for sure, but Ryan Day can help fix the offense himself. What he can't do is help fix the defense. And so he started with Greg Madison, Jeff Hafley. That worked. Jeff Hafley leaves after 1 year, which was unexpected. They didn't think that the success would lead to him getting a head coaching job so early. Greg Madison runs the defense. It doesn't go as well. He retires. They bring back Kerry Combs, which was greeted with mixed responses. Obviously, Kerry Combs had a great run at Ohio State as the cornerbacks coach, a great recruiter, great motivator, really good with working with those positions, put a ton of guys in the NFL, but had never run a defense before. And Ryan Day trusted him with that, and it didn't work. And I think it was clear probably before Ohio State even acted that it wasn't working. So now he's gone out. He's hired a defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles, who was in charge of one of the best defenses in the country, a team in Oklahoma State that got better each year defensively under his 4 seasons there. And now they've got these staff members to help run the secondary. Larry Johnson's going to be the only holdover, the defensive lines coach of any of these current, or the guys that have been employed by Ohio State. And we're going to see what's going to happen. It sounds like Jim Knowles, who has experience coaching linebackers, will handle that position, given that Al Washington has departed. They haven't brought in a linebackers coach, and they don't really have any room on the staff unless someone else is going to make way with the NCAA rules, allowing you to have 10 assistant coaches. So it looks like Jim Knowles will run not only the defense, but coach the linebackers. And then you've got Perry, what is it? Eliano, sorry, still learning these names, and Tim Walton to kind of run the secondary together. Eliano will be the safeties coach. Walton, the cornerbacks coach, is my understanding. And so, I know there's mixed opinions on having whether you have one defensive backs coach or whether you have a guy who runs each position. Ohio State won a national championship in 2014 with Chris Ash and Kerry Combs splitting those duties. So, it can definitely work. These guys will certainly have to come together and kind of fit under the umbrella of what Jim Knowles wants. But I'm certain that Ryan Day was aware of what the defense is going to look like under Jim Knowles and made these hirings as kind of with that in mind.
Might be a simplistic way to look at it, but two is better than one as long as they can work together. You got two knowledge bases right there. You've got two different experiences, two different, high grade level of football knowledge to come together and see things that maybe the other person does not.